What is going on, y'all? In this video, we are going to discuss how tax season doesn't really mean much of shit when you're a single person with no dependents, and or your tax bracket has increased from the previous tax season and you find out you're not getting shit back, basically. Yeah. So this is why, because people ask me, whether it's my granny, my mom, friends, well, how come you're always late, last minute when it comes to doing your taxes? Like, today is Tuesday, April 15th, and today is the IRS tax deadline in the USA. And I typically do my taxes anywhere between the middle to late March to right before the tax deadline or the actual tax deadline. Last year, I did it April 11th. This year, I did it today, Tuesday, April 15th. The year 2023, I did it in March. I want to say the end of March. 2022 was also the middle of March. Again, I typically do it in March, a few days before the deadline, or this year, the actual deadline. And the reason why is I am a single man, 32 years old, single man with no dependents. Zero dependents. With that being said, I don't really get much back, so I don't really see the point in rushing to do it. Which in of itself is, a privilege to not have to be so, gung-ho on getting your tax return and getting your taxes filed so you can get a tax return. It's a privilege in of itself. And at the same time, it's a disadvantage because when you're single with no dependents, number one, you're typically not eligible for a lot of the tax credits that are available. A lot of the tax credits are geared towards people with dependents, people with children, people who are married, etc. And then two, depending on your tax bracket, you're not going to be eligible for other tax benefits because, again, the only way to get the earned income tax credit is if you are a single person with zero dependents. You can't make over $18,000 a year in order for you to be eligible for the earned income tax credit. If you are a person who has children, has dependents, there is a certain threshold where you can go up towards, I believe it's like, depending on the number of people in the household and the number of dependents, that's what that's based off. But if you're a single person, zero dependents, and say you earn over $40,000 a year, or your adjusted gross income, okay, your AGI, adjusted gross income, is over 40K, 42K, 45K, you're not going to be eligible for the earned income tax credit. And your tax bracket can really make or break you. I went up a tax bracket from last year to now, because at the beginning, or like September of 2023, I went from 40K to $42,000, a $2,000 increase or a 5% pay raise after being at my previous employer for 2 years. And then I ended up getting a new job, having a better job offer that pushed me from that 42K to $49,280 a year. So it still ended up getting a $7,280 increase by going to a new employer, which I'm still with that employer now. And then I also got a 3% merit raise last July 2024. That pushed me to almost nearly $51,000 a year. I'm like 200 something under 51K. But they look at your AGI. So my AGI is like 47,000 something. And then what's taxable, your taxable income is like, my taxable income was like 34,000. And guess what I'm getting back, y'all? Just guess. Guess what I'm getting back? It's pathetic. It's devastating. No. I'm getting $0 back from my state return, and I'm getting $2 back from the federal government. So a whopping $2. So when people ask me, well, why do you always wait to the last minute to do your taxes? This is why. I don't get much back. I'm lucky, I'm blessed to not have to pay shit, because that has happened to me a few times where I did my taxes and I owed money. So for me, I'm not in a rush to file when I don't benefit from tax season. If I was getting $10,000 back, then yes, I would probably be more amped to get my taxes filed at a earlier time period, right? Probably get them done in February. But even knowing me, even in February, it probably would still be at least around March, because again, I'm so accustomed to doing it late, right before the deadline, or this year, the deadline, because it's like, I don't get anything back. The most I've gotten back is like $1,100, $1,200, which, thank you. That's a blessing still. That's a privilege still, so I'm not taking it for granted. But that's the most I've gotten back. And again, the most I've paid back is like $2,400, like dead ass. What is that? 2017, I paid $2,400 back to the IRS that I owed. Then in 2018, I was good just for them to come back in 2019, and it was like $600 something that I had to pay back. So again, I keep all my tax information, okay? And I either go to my tax preparer that I've been going to for shit forever and a day, and or I'll do it myself. Because it's really like, I'll do it myself sometimes as well. But I also work a lot. So like, I have a full-time, I have a part-time, I do contractual work, 1099, you know what I'm saying? Independent contractor work, regular W-2s. And then I also have a business. So it's like, like I said, I'm lucky if I don't have to pay. So for me, I'm not in a big rush for it, but that's not the whole gist of this video. The other piece of this video is just to highlight how we're overtaxed not to have shit, and don't benefit from damn near anything that we're paying for. I went up a tax bracket, right? Because I got those raises and I got a new job, and then I got another raise at that new job. So my tax bracket is now 12% based off of my full-time job. And I'm just like, basically, if you make between if you're a single person with no kids and no dependents, and you make between, I would say, 35K and 75K, probably even now closer to 100K, between $35,000 to $100,000 a year and you're a single person with 0 dependents, you're not claiming any dependents, you get fucked. It just needs to be said. You are getting hammered, okay? And guess what? Without your consent, okay, at that, right? Like, because you look at how much money you're paying every pay period, every time you get paid, every paycheck. Look at the Social Security, look at the Medicare, the Medicaid. If you got a 401k, 403b, you got a retirement plan, you got a health savings account, whatever. Look at all those deductions. Look at your health care, right? Because a lot of us have to pay a portion of our own health insurance as well, while the employer pays the other half. So, like, when you look at all of that, it's just kind of like, what the? You know what I'm saying? You got to look at it like, what is going on here, right? And then to get even deeper, right? Do you have any rights, freedoms? Because, like, depending on, and I'm about to go there, depending on your social identity politics, but for real, depending on who you are and how you identify, what rights and freedoms do you have? I'm sorry, but as an African American, Black, intersex, trans man who happens to be gay, queer, what am I paying taxes for? I don't have any rights here. I can't even go to the fucking bathroom. There's entire states that I can have a felony by simply going to the bathroom because I'm an intersex trans man, but I'm paying taxes. As a gay queer man, we're probably not going to be able to continue even having the right to get married because they're trying to take that away. And this year in June, it'll be 10 years since that right was granted to the LGBTQIA plus community for marriage equality. It's only a decade old. Come this June 2025, will mark 10 years. And they're already trying to take that away. And hell, they're trying to go back to criminalizing homosexual gay sex. Yeah. As a Black person, as an African American, as a Black person, all right, do I even have to go there? As a person of color, do I even have to go there? You're paying taxes now. Not to have any representation, no freedoms, no rights, to be ostracized and disrespected 24/7, 365, but you're paying taxes. So the rich and the wealthy don't have to pay taxes. So the corporations don't have to pay taxes. And so they can lay your ass off. And so they can continue to make money for their shareholders. So the rest of their employees can continue to be poor, living check to check, even though they work full-time jobs. And in many cases, they have more than one job. Because, you know, the corporations fail to pay living wages that reflect the cost of living, that reflect to take in consideration inflation, aka price gouging. Because why should they have to make sure that you get paid a living wage after you've given 40 or more hours of your life? Why? You know the fucking shareholders need more money. Oh, you know they need to buy another yacht. They need another freaking jet. Or they need to buy an island. Or, you know, an election. They got to have more money for shit like that. But you keep paying taxes so we can keep taking your rights and freedoms away. Proud to be American, right? I'm going to be making more videos just like the one I just did because, you know, it's just time to get nitty gritty with shit. You paying and paying and paying. You working and working and working. Yet you don't benefit from jack shit. Welcome to capitalism. Welcome to, you know, oppression, fascism. You don't have any representation or rights or freedoms, but they expect you to pay these elected officials' bills. You realize our tax dollars are providing the funding for the salaries of your elected officials that receive payment for their job. Right? So that means that LGBTQIA plus folks are literally paying the salary for elected officials to turn around and take our small little amount of rights that we just started getting over the past 50 years. Again, we're very new to getting any type of representation, any type of rights, freedoms, access, resources. For all my trans folks, and mind you, we are less than 2% of the population. For all of my intersex folks, your tax dollars, our tax dollars are paying for this current administration to tell us that we don't exist, that we don't matter, that we shouldn't have the right to live. You can't have health care. That you can't go to the bathroom. You can't play sports. Hell, they don't want you to live. You're paying for that. Women, you're paying for elected officials to tell you what you can and cannot do with your own body. You're paying for that. Everybody wants to talk about representation. Oh, all of the people that benefit the most, they have more than enough representation, don't they? While the rest of us that are constantly being denied basic human rights, freedoms, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, those of us that are constantly being denied that, we don't really have much representation, do we? But yet we fucking work for it. We pay for it, but we don't get it. We vote for it, but we don't get it. It's constantly denied to us, right? See, if you look back at the Boston Tea Party, and that's just one of the many incidents throughout history where people were fighting back against being overtaxed. But for the USA, they always talk about the Boston Tea Party. Well, if you get where I'm going, what would happen if most of us that are literally being denied rights, freedoms, and just discriminated against, just fucked over completely, what if we stop paying taxes? Right, because no taxation without proper representation. The hell am I paying you through my tax dollars for you to tell me I can't have access to health care? But yet we can pay for the very same politicians that vote for us to lose our rights. We can pay for their salaries. We can pay for their health care. We can pay for their 401ks or retirement plans. We pay for their security. We pay for so much shit just for them to say this to us. I just want to highlight that because it's really janky when you sit down and think about it. It's very janky when you really sit down and consider it. It's the USA. It's America. It's the land of the free and the home of the depraved. The brave. It's just so wild, right? Because this is some bizarre shit. $2, I get $2 back. Like, would you like to have that direct deposited? Or would you like a check? I should have opted for them to write a check for $2. But then again, I don't want to waste taxpayers' money on $2 checks. So, but yeah, I just want to throw that out there, you know. I've got so much to talk about. It's just a matter of me remembering to upload the damn video, and that's real.